Welcome to One Old Man's Garage again, and today I'm working on my truck, 94 Chevrolet Silverado extended cab C71, but the biggest thing is it's a 6.5 diesel, turbo diesel. I'm going to do a cooling system flush today. I want to show y'all something. I am an old guy, so I have some old style methods. What you see here is a radiator flusher, or cooling system, complete cooling system flushing tool. Okay? Alright, so what we got here is fitting from Lowe's. Another fitting from Lowe's. Everything is basically from Lowe's, except I don't know where I got that from. I got two of them. Got a shut-off valve for your water, and you got a shut-off valve for your air. And I will be showing you how all this works. First thing I did was drain the radiator. I don't know if you can tell or not, but that big radiator drain pan is slammed full because this truck holds 25 quarts of coolant. So let me reposition, get over here, and I'll let y'all watch what I do. It's really not very complicated. We'll get down here and close the drain for the radiator. Alright, this might sound odd, but this truck has two radiator caps. The one on the radiator and one on the coolant reservoir. Make sure both those are on. Clamp pliers. These are only probably 30, 40 years old. Blue Point, Snap-on's cheap brand. Clamp off. I don't know if many of y'all know this or not, but you're really supposed to flush your cooling system every 2 years. It has absolutely nothing to do with whether it'll cool or not, and everything to do with rust prevention, lubricant for your water pump, and such stuff as that. So you hook water hose up to the shut-off valve, shut-off valve to the flushing tool, and air hose. It's supposed to go on here. Doesn't act like it wants to. Don't know why. But it's certainly not. So I'm going to replace that fitting. I don't know why it's not working. I'll be right back. Okay, so replace the air fitting. I don't know what happened there. Doesn't matter. There. Now it's hooked up. Alright. Take your thermostat out. I'm having to replace my thermostat anyway because I put a 180 in it. And this particular system really requires for the computer to work properly a 195 thermostat. But I was having some overheating problems. Come to find out, my radiator. Oh, okay. Well, that's not good. Our radiator in the front was clogged with dirt and other debris. So, oh yeah. I'm just going to leave this old gasket right on here. And take the old thermostat out. Set it aside. I'm going to go clean my bolts. Be right back. And I'm right on back. So I learned this method when I did a small stint at an independent garage, which was a pretty cool place. The man did everything in his shop. He had a special transmission repair section, automatic transmission. He had a radiator shop. Oh, wonderful. Please excuse the siren in the distance. I hope it's not like yesterday where somebody ran off the road and ran into somebody's house and clipped a guide wire to a light pole and put everybody's power out in the neighborhood for a little while. I hope that's not the deal. Okay. As I was saying, I learned this in an independent garage. You had a radiator shop where you actually record radiators, even did the plastic radiators, plastic tanks, aluminum radiator. You had the equipment to change the tanks out. But he showed me how to do this. And he had a tool that was actually designed to do this. I just made one similar to it. In the dealership, all you did was drain the radiator. Seriously now, to do a cooling system flush, all they wanted you to do was drain the radiator and put new coolant in it, which did basically nothing. I've taken this device on engines that were just absolutely nasty, rusty, and cleaned them out to where it was crystal clear. It unclogs the heater cores. Sometimes the heater cores work if they're real bad. If you maintain your vehicle, you won't have a problem with that kind of stuff. And the way heater cores are in most vehicles to replace, you really don't want to have to replace one. Alright. Turn my water on. And here it goes. This is not going to be bad. Like I said, I flush mine every couple of years. I've only had this truck a couple of years. If I hadn't gotten the price on it that I did, I wouldn't have been buying it. Okay. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Well, I can't see it when I'm looking through the camera lens, but I don't have my glasses on, so. What we got here, okay, upper radiator hose, right, where the tool fits, going through, no thermostat in it. I mean, what's it going to hurt to replace a thermostat every couple of years, right? Okay. So now, you're getting pretty clean water coming out of here. I'm going to try and set you back up on the tripod so that maybe you can see. I don't know. Let me get my glasses and see if I can see on this little tiny screen. Well, barely. Just barely. Mainly because the battery's in the way. Second battery. Alright. So, once you got that going, you do this every once in a while. Getting in on the action. Yep, got water all over the lens. Alright. And what that does is it blasts air and breaks up any loose scale or anything that you might have in there. You're really not able to see much because of the water on the lens. I'm going to go get something and clean the lens off. Be right back. Alright, now we're looking a little bit better. Let's see if I can not do that again. Got vice grips on this handle because I loaned it to my stepson to clean out his drain, I guess he was doing. And he broke one of the, whatever he calls them, to turn the Walcott valve off, on and off. There ain't going to be much to this at all. because like I said, I do it every couple of years. So it doesn't get dirty and nasty and rusty and all that good stuff. Alright, that's all I'm going to do to flush it. I mean, you just do that until it's clean. And then you're good. And then you open the drain back up, drain the radiator out, put a thermostat back in, this time a 195, and then fill it with coolant. In order to get the mixture at a 50-50, which is what I'm looking for, even though I'm in North Carolina and really don't need it, I got to put a little over 3 gallons of coolant, concentrated coolant, not 50-50, because yeah, it holds over 6 gallons of coolant in this diesel that everybody bad talks so much. I got 322,000 miles on this truck. I paid $600 for it, and the fuel tank was really messed up and nasty, and it wouldn't run over 35 miles an hour. So I went and blew back through the tank and drove it home for 600 bucks. And I took this fender off because it was so bad, and straightened it out a little bit. This door, the only problem was down here, was all caved in. I did fix that. But the rear quarter panels and the tailgate that was on it had a rust hole in it. Of course, I do have the rust hole down here where I stuck foam in because I had extra foam. I was sealing under the house and still had some left, so I figured, what the heck, temporary anyway. If you look down the side of the truck here, you see the bed is all cockeyed. I guess it got smashed in right here on the back. Something hit it. That's the tailgate off of that truck, which I got for 400 bucks with a 350, the transmission, the rear end, and all good body panels except for the hood, of course. So I'm going to put the two of them together and make one that has a nice body. I swear it looks like somebody took this truck and tried to run it between two big trees, and it wasn't wide enough. Front end all busted up. Anyway, yeah, somebody even, I guess at one point, had some big tires on it. So they cut the fenders out right here. I did a real serious jury rig here and put a little piece of metal in and riveted it in, and anyway, that was before I got this other truck. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on the tripod, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the new thermostat in and drain the radiator back out, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, I don't have a bunch of fancy tripods and GoPros and all this other stuff. I got a tripod that I had long before I thought about doing any YouTubes, and I have a really nice Sony Handycam camcorder that I had long before I was going to do any video YouTube videos. And now, to get you where you are with the camera, I got 3 5-gallon buckets underneath the legs of the tripod. But it seems to be working pretty well. Guess I don't need to buy a bunch of expensive equipment. So, first really odd thing you're going to see this old man do. I ought to be wearing New Balances, I think. But I'm going to use some silicone sealer. And I'm going to do something I very rarely do. I'm going to reuse the gasket because there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's in perfect shape. But I am going to put a little bit of RTV on it. And I'm using red mainly because it's open. I got some other flavors in there, but they're not open. This one is. So this is high temp. And really from what I've seen on this diesel, which is not unlike other diesels, you got a lot of heat to deal with. Okay, yeah, I'm actually putting a little RTV around the edge of the thermostat so that it seals good. Because you really want heat. So just make sure there's no bypassing the thermostat or anything. It just goes ahead. Heats right on up. You might think it's ridiculous, and it might be, but I've been doing it for 40 years, and it's worked out pretty well so far. So I'm going to continue doing it for however long I got left doing this stuff. Which, honestly, some days I don't know if that's going to be the next day or not. It is absolutely no fun getting old. I started doing these YouTube videos because of watching other YouTube videos. And I've seen some of these young guys, or what I consider young, doing these videos. And I thought, well, what the heck? Why can't I do it? So, here I am doing it. Trying to get sealer out of my tube here. If anybody has a clue how to keep RTV from getting hard all the time in the tube after you close it, even if you seal it right up, please put it down there in the comments. And I hate to be another one of these people that pushes the like and subscribe thing, but you know what? I figured it this way when I was doing it for other people, and I still do it. I really enjoy watching some of the guys. I'm not going to say any specific channel because, well, I don't really know any of them other than watching their YouTube videos, and I don't think that really puts you in the category of knowing somebody just because you watch their videos. Anyway, if anybody knows how to get RTV not to harden in the tube, please put it down there and like and subscribe. because I got some really cool stuff I want to do. But the funds are not really there for it, number one. And number two, it's hard for me to motivate to do some of this stuff sometimes. And thanks to some of the channels I watch, one guy up in Canada, again, I don't know the legalities and everything, so I'm not going to mention his name, but he does a little bit of everything, and he is the most skilled person for fabrication, metal fabrication, I've ever seen in my life. Snug these down a little bit. Everybody's probably thinking, what in the world is that? That is a drain, and I think its most intended purpose was if you get water in the fuel and the water and fuel indicator comes on, you can open that up with it running and it'll push all that out. It comes off of the bottom of the, what they call a fuel filter management. It's a daggone fuel filter with a housing. It's got a heater in it, and it's got a water sensor in it. Great. Don't know why they gotta have such a technical name for it, but whatever. Fuel filter management. I'm gonna save on this 180 and the gasket. And they sent me an oil filter cap, oil fill cap, right here, not vented. And this is a diesel with 322,000 miles on it. And let me tell you something about blow-by. It's got it. If I were to put a non-vented cap on there so it couldn't vent out, it would blow the dipstick right slam out of the engine. I got a little valve cover leak back here in the back. When it gets good and hot, you can see smoke just puffing right on out of it. One of these days I'm going to go through this and freshen this old 6.5 liter right on up. But not today. So I'm going to assume that I'm done draining here. See if I can put a little bit of light on the subject. Well, they got that in a good place because you sure can't see it. What is it about these companies and putting radiator drains? Used to call them petcocks, but this isn't really a petcock, it's just a drain. Why they gotta put them in such terrible places to get to? I don't get that. But But that's okay. I never understood half of what they did when they designed these things. Alright, drain plugs in. So that means I should be good to go here. Okay. You don't want to stay there. Don't. Sit right there. Hope this grill will hold these. I'm going to show you guys another little thing while I'm at it. I seen one guy, he likes to use these to bust these little things off here, these covers. If you take the little lock, set it right there, you run it right on around and take that right off. No problem. So, pull that cap off. By the way, this does leave a lot of water in the engine, just plain water. But most of the time, if you go through and you make sure the radiator's drained, it'll take all the coolant it's supposed to take. I hear something gurgling. What? Most vehicles nowadays have one of these somewhere. It's a little cap you undo and it lets air out. Cool, huh? A lot of people don't know about that. Yeah, it helps if you loosen the cap to get it off a little bit. I guess I will fast forward through this, but daggone if I want to keep going over there and turning the camera on and off. Need a remote control for it. There's 2 gallons of concentrated Walmart brand antifreeze. About the only thing, this and power steering fluid, brake fluid, that kind of thing. That's about all I get from Walmart. Because I got a '05 Cadillac over there that I got with 68,000 miles on it. It didn't have a leak of any kind anywhere. Well, I ran SuperTech synthetic oil in it, and I reckon I put, let's see, probably 60,000 miles on the car, and religiously changed oil. Oh, she's coming to the top. I want to make sure that I got some antifreeze in here. Because you just don't want pure water around in the winter. Anyway, I ran that SuperTech thinking I was doing a good thing by using a synthetic oil, and I just changed the oil as recommended by the computer in the car. And well, next thing I know, I start developing oil leaks. More and more and more oil leaks. To the point that now I need to take the engine out, I guess, to put a rear main seal in it and seal up basically everything else on the engine, even though I've already done valve cover gaskets, oil filter adapter gasket. What else did I do? I replaced all kinds of stuff. And it still leaks oil. So from there I went to Mobil 1. Synthetic. And I've tried some of this ATP sealer stuff. And, well, I'm not seeing anything out of it yet. It's still leaking oil everywhere. All right. Now, I'll admit that this truck has had a really, really tough life. I don't know exactly everything that's happened to it, but when I got it, front CV axles and the front drive shaft are missing. The long axle out of this side, the right side, was coming out of the housing. So I actually took the front differential out and rebuilt it and repaired all that stuff and put it back in. I'm still looking for a front drive shaft for it. And I have one little brown wire that needs to be hooked up that somebody snatched out. The wiring was a nightmare on this truck. And I had to buy a special program for a computer from Sweden, or a Swedish guy anyway, to do the computer system, and I had to buy the stuff to make a diagnostic cable to plug into my laptop. Works great. You can't set the timing on this truck without having this program or one like it. So anyway, it's a weird truck. First year of the computer controlled injection pump, or DS4 as they call it. Anyway, I'm going to crank it up and warm it up and make sure all the fluids are topped off and everything's good. And I'll get back to you. So I changed my mind. It's not purging coolant out of the bleeder there. So I'm going to stick this handy funnel. It fits really tight in there. I'm going to try and fill her up some more. There it goes. That's what I'm talking about. And just took my screwdriver right on in the shop. I'm not in the shop right now because I'm in the midst of doing a railing for my front porch. So I got lumber all over everywhere, and sanding and sawing and assembling and everything. But as soon as I get that done, I get to get back in my shop. Alright, 94, 6.5, 322,000 miles. And this is going to be a cold start. Waiting for the glow plug light to go out. That's something else. See? Terrible engine. chill while this thing warms up. I will be back out there. This job is basically done. I don't know how much light I got out here. See, there's my bucket, there's my tripod. It's not too bad of lighting. Getting there. Sorry, but for all those miles, I don't know, maybe you didn't hear me. For all those miles on that engine, it sure runs good to me. Now, I don't know if it's ever been replaced. I've had the truck a little bit over 2 years. I put a little bit over 6,000 miles on it. I don't drive much. You know, when you work right behind your house, you don't have to go far to work. She's almost warmed up. I feel a little bit of heat coming through the upper radiator hose. So it shouldn't be long now and I'll be done. So, let me show you the blow-by. It's starting to warm up good now. There's the smoke coming out of there. A little bit of smoke coming out of the vented oil cap. And then back here at the back, I got a bad valve cover out. It's blowing oil out. So I really do want to put rings and bearings and gaskets and seals and anyway, at the beginning on this truck, there was actually a wire going through the glow plugs on the right side that was pinched between the engine and the transmission. So I know either the engine or the transmission's gone out. And it took all kinds of work, replacing fusible links and stuff to get all 8 glow plugs working. but I did do that. Replaced most all the sensors on the engine because they were all broken. The EGR is bypass. It causes a lot of soot. So it looks like it's hooked up. You can see it. And it has vacuum going to it. And the valve might open and close, but all the passages are blocked from inside. Yeah, she's about 195 right now. Thermostat has opened. I believe I put a little bit too much food. I put a little bit too much in there, but that's okay. It's got a leak somewhere, so it'll just use it. But that about completes this. I got the 05 Cadillac to do tomorrow. Same thing, flush the cooling system. And well, that's about that. Y'all take care. And again, please like and subscribe. It might do something for me, I don't know. Thanks.